Now let's talk about why this guy and his music matter to us in 21st century. Hi, this is a little theory and let's throw the intro. Now why? Why does this matter? Why does a composer so early of our time matter to us in 21st century? Believe it or not, because this is the composer who developed the form and style of music known as motet. Although he did compose and have a large contribution in making polyphony, today we are going to focus on motet. Now, what is a motet? A motet is mainly a vocal musical composition of highly diverse form and style. From the late medieval era to present, the motet was one of the most preeminent forms of polyphonic forms of Renaissance music. Composer Josquin Prez is basically a great grandfather of the term in modernized day we call as songs. So let's learn more about him and his life and the work he did for us. First of all, Josquin Prez was born around 1405 by 1455, died around 27 August 1521, was a French composer. He gifted the world with 18 masses, 100 motets and 17 chants. Although all of his masses are not dated, we still believe the approx number is 18. He was also praised by a lot of various writers during the Renaissance periods. Writers such as Martin Luther, quote, calling him the master of notes, which must do as he wishes. Often composers must do as the notes wish. He also quoted him by saying that his musical techniques were so ahead of the time that blending traditional forms with innovations has become the standard practices. Because of his innovations, they become the standard of practices and led to the terminology we call as songs. Now let's talk about how did Josquin Prez develop the style of motet. First of all, we should understand what are the requirements of motets. First, we need to add an unchanged chant, voice in tenor. Second, mix with the brand new upper voices, basically three. Third, add text called prosula. If you guys don't know what prosula is, prosula was the type of notation used during Renaissance. So if we see in that way, so basically motet is a descendant form of substitute clausular. It was a way to write a unique compositions similar to pieces because before uh, before before Josquin invented or developed the style of motets, there was no way to have a small composition. All the compositions were basically masses or chants, and they lasted around 1 hour and so. So this was a big innovation during that time. After developing this form of music, he also innovated the way of singing. You see, before this time, there was no development in singing. Most of the music or most of the lyrics were basically impossible to listen because they used a technique known as melisma, in which long stretches of melody were used or attached to one syllable of the text. After the innovating the new singing style for people to listen to, the lyrics became audible and people started to listen to the lyrics and started to understand the meaning behind the lyrics. He was also known for the time to add basses in the vocal because it was unheard of using basses during that time. Many of the writers during that time also sometimes quoted him as a modern composer, the person whose work was on the brink of modern approach. Now let's talk about one of the most famous compositions composed by Josquin Prez. The composition's name is Miserere Deus, or also the translates as Have Mercy on Me. This composition was commissioned by the Duke of Farah and holds a special value in the world of music history. As not many people know, this composition was created in the format of reminding the government. It was very politically active song. It was also an apology to God, as quoted in the song's name and title, or to someone we don't know. It was one of the most famous composition pieces or pieces composed by Josquin Prez around that time, which had the new singing style, in which the vowels were clear, the words were understandable, and hence it was a birth of new era. It was speculated that it was also a revolutionary song. Now, after this, we are going to talk about the time generation where he was around that time. First of all, at 1440 to 1455, he was at France. 1459 to 1472, he was at Milan Cathedral. At 1446, he became a member of Ducal Chapel, and after that, the assassination of Duke happened, and Josquin fell under the service of his brother, and soon his brother also died. At 1456 to 1494, he was at Roman Chapel, and 1401 to 1403, he was in the France during the reign of Louis VIII. At 1503, he was appointed as a maestro at De Capella and also fled to Italy in the fear of plague. This was his timeline. So after this, the question remains: what you should take from his life and what his compositional studies. I think so personally. What you should take and what you should get inspired from is keep innovating every time. Innovation pushes the envelope. Remember that. So yeah, this is all I wanted to share about the great composer Josquin Prez and his compositions. Hi, this is a little theory. Sorry. Bye, this is a little theory. And if you want more similar content, please comment down below and please subscribe. Bye.